gave me so many hits, and his trending song right now, it's called Running to You, and he's a Nigerian artist. His name is Chike. So Chike, welcome in the building.
Thank you so much. Thank you for bringing me to the whole of Rwanda. I'm happy to be here.
How are you? How is the pandemic treating you, like with the COVID-19 issues and stuff like that? How are you coping up with that?
Man, it's treating us unfairly. I mean, entertainment, if you know what I mean, it's quite unfair, but we're getting by. We're getting by.
Okay. So a lot of people we talk more on like have so different images of you, but still I want to know, according to you, who is Chike, briefly?
Definitely a creative. I'm in love with art, you know, music, acting. My hobbies are going out, you know, meeting new people.
Okay.
I don't know how to put it that like that. Maybe going out to private places. You get not public places, but you know, going out to meet people. I'm a huge fan of video games. In no particular order, you know, I've got 3 siblings. We're all boys in my family, and I'm also a computer engineer, a graduate of Covenant University here in Nigeria. And above all, which is very clear, I'm a lover of music.
Okay, so talking about that degree you have in computer engineering, why did you study computer engineering and shift to do music, like to pursue a career in music? How is that? Like, how did you do it? And did it cause any issues with the family and everything else? Because like we grew up, like we are all Africans, and so at some point we get those issues with our parents. Like you study something, you hit to the music industry, they don't like it. So how did you cope up with that?
For me, my parents didn't even know when I started music, you know. After my computer engineering degree, I went for a reality show back then called Project Fame. And pretty much, I just remember when I got out of school and I was going for the show because it was an in-house show, one that you have to lodge like in a house. So just for them to know where I am, I called my dad. I was like, "Oh, I'm a Project Fame." And he's like, "Huh? What's that?" So he still didn't even figure out what that was, but I was a graduate then, so I'm sure he was like, "You can do whatever you want to do with your life." So people started calling him. I'm like, "Oh, we saw your son on TV. We saw your son on TV." So, you know, everybody wants good news, and they saw me on TV for a good thing. You know, I was getting popular.
Okay.
And with time, you know, the music started, you know, bringing in money, and you know, anything you do, you know, most parents, they just want you to be successful. To be honest, even if you're selling clothes or building houses or you be a shoemaker, as far as you're doing it in a grand scale enough that brings in enough resources for you to take care of yourself, they're happy for you.
Okay, I understand that. So with coping up with that, we talked about how you went to Project Fame and The Voice Nigeria and everything else.
Yes.
Like you went to those many competitions. Did it shape you into being a musician you are today, or did it lead you somewhere like in your career?
It definitely shaped me. It shaped me. That was my first exposure to performing for people. You know, when you perform for people, what you're doing is saying, "Oh, this is what I do for a living. So tell me, do you like it?" You know, so it gave me my first chance and first stage to test the waters. And with guidance, with, you know, some form of a shield, you know, if you know how the shows are, they coach you and all that, you know. So I would say it played a huge role in exposing me to the industry and to the fans. And I'm happy that I was able to take it from there.
Okay, all right. And there is this thing that you did, like you like the competition. You also went to Universal Records. I think it didn't go well. Then like you had to be an independent artist. I just want you to take me through that, to take me through your journey in the Universal Records.
Okay. What I would say is that Universal Records was a byproduct, at least the way I understood it, was a byproduct of The Voice Nigeria back then. I mean, when you get to the stage I got to, I was second in the show.
Okay.
You automatically get signed to them. So I don't know what was going on there.
Okay.
But I was at Universal Records for maybe a year plus or 2 years. I can't remember again because that's all in the past now. And I mean, the summary of that was, we didn't share the same vision, to be honest. And at some point, it was time for us to sit on the table and agree to disagree and go our separate ways. And that's what we did. And, I'm very excited about that decision. And I mean, all that has led me here right now. So I couldn't be happier.
Okay, all right. So, and you also went into acting. You ventured into acting at some point. You're being a musician
Yes, I did.
and being an actor. I just want you to take me through that. Like, how did you cope up with being a musician and being an actor at the same time?
So that's also twisted with when I was in Universal Music. So back then, I mean, the music wasn't working. We were not seeing eye to eye on a lot of things. But I needed to be alive. I needed to survive. I needed to remain in people's consciousness. So luckily for me, I had people in positions that said, okay, so do you have any interest in acting? I'm like, hey, I don't mind giving it a try. And when I tried, I realized, with the guidance and the support, I was actually good at it. So automatically, I stuck to it for that 2 years. Yes, it was about 2 years plus. Because I also needed to fund my music. So to be honest, I was taking money from my acting and paying for my music, to make sure, because I came to the realization that nobody was going to do anything for me.
For you,
it was
like,
obvious.
yeah.
I knew, I realized that no angel, no physical angel was going to come down and do anything for me. I just realized that, yeah, God's got me, but I needed to put in the work. So I started earning and channeling into my music. And right now, in many rights, I'm able to even earn more as an actor now because of how well the music is doing. So, it all adds up.
Okay, right. So I get you. So let's talk about an album that you have called Boo of the Booless. So why did you call it that name, and how did you come up with the artist that you featured? But still, right now, let's talk about the name of that album.
I am the Boo of the Booless. Look at me now. I'm here. I'm here for all those who ain't got no boo. I mean, the name came, if you listen to the album from track 1 to track 14, it was released on the 14th of February, by the way, 2020. It addressed a wide range of emotions, from love to hate, the love of a mother to the love of God. It was mostly emotions and had to do with love, hate, happiness. There was Finders Keepers that talks about you finding that thing you work hard for. There's Beautiful People, which was track 1, appreciating those people who've come into your life and made it better. So I feel like there's a lot of things we feel that we're not able to find. When you're telling somebody, this is how I feel, and you're like, but do you understand what I'm saying? And you don't know if they understand what you're saying. So Boo of the Booless was there to say, look, for those who do not have anybody to talk to, I'm telling this story so you know that, yes, I've been where you've been. So that's what Boo of the Booless is about.
Okay, all right. There is you have so many featured the artists that you featured on that album. So many. So what do you go through for you to feature an artist on a song? What do you look up to, and what the qualities that artist should have before even featuring it on your album?
The first one for me is the artist needs to believe in what I do too. When you reach out to people for features and they already like your work, it just makes everything, 50% of the work is done. It's done. Because first of all, they are willing. They're also willing to do more than they would do normally to be on that feature with you. So for us, first of all, is working with people who believe in your art. First of all, that's very important, or who agree with your art. And that checks all the boxes. The other ones are paperwork, which really can be sorted. I don't know how my management goes about that, but they always get it right. So it's pretty much that. We just need to be on the same page in terms of, I agree with this person's beliefs in music, and maybe I'm a fan, or maybe I just like their work, and that's enough.
Do you personally work with those artists, or it just becomes also a thing of the management? Do you contact them personally, or do you need to be friends with them way before collaborating with them?
No, to be honest, we don't need to be friends. Here's why I say so. Because to be honest, being friends is important because, it can also make things move faster. If I was to come meet up with you in your house and vibe in the studio, first of all, then we don't need to go through management first. They now need to book the dates. Those are things that friends can do with each other. You
Yes.
get what I'm saying? In fact,
Yeah,
as we're
I get
talking
you.
now, I got a message from somebody, Zuchu, from Tanzania, and you see that management haven't started talking, but we're able to get along. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm able to
Yes.
bounce ideas, but no matter what, it circles back to the management because they need to do the paperwork, they need to agree on the direction. You understand? So yes, but for some people, it's always best to just go through management straight because it's not everybody who's able to kick things off immediately. But that doesn't mean you can't work. You don't need to be friends to work, But I'm just saying, if you can be friends, it can help it be a smoother conversation.
Okay, all right. And there is this thing that you have, and this song called "Running to You" with you and Simi. I think it's doing well here in Rwanda. The challenges, the
Oh,
dancers,
wow.
and everything else. So, who wrote it? How was it produced? Take me through that song, when it was being recorded and when it was being produced, the video, the audio. How's the journey?
So running to you, there's a song on my album called "Running," which "Running to You" was made from, because "Running to You" was now a more Afro, centered song in terms of the components of the music. I wrote "Running to You." I mean, Simi wrote her part. She's an amazing writer too. So anything you hear my voice on, I wrote. Any part you hear her voice on, she wrote. So there's a co-writing between me and Simi. This version you're hearing was originally established by one of my friends, a producer, and it was finished up by my current producer called Diaso, So and that was pretty much it. So when we wanted to work with Simi, my management believed that was the right song, and we just needed to flip it. And when we sent it to her, she loved it, and she recorded. It was like I said, when people believe in what you do, also it makes it smooth. I want to believe that, she loved my music the same way I genuinely love hers. And she was able to record. And I wasn't even in the middle of the conversation most of the time. Though we do have a good talking relationship, but I wasn't in the middle of the conversation. It was pretty much the management and my management, and they spoke. And, we showed up for the video. And we shot. In fact, I didn't even see her on the day of the video.
Okay.
Because I was out of the States. So by the time I was coming back, she had done and left. And I was like, oh, my God. Where is she? But she had gone, so, but you can see how all that worked out. So, because there's a good relationship. I mean, my management and her management also have a good relationship. That's true. My management prior managing me have a good relationship with her people. So it just made it easy still.
Okay, all right. So I get you. But still, Chike, you have performed, led in Nigeria, or even not, outside Nigeria. What is that one concert that made you connected to the fans, outside Nigeria? Let's start with outside Nigeria. Where did you perform, and when was that?
Okay, most of my performance outside Nigeria, funny enough, was coincidentally when I did The Voice. So we still had some small places we go and just sing, and But right from when my music kicked off and became as big as it is now and growing, we're already in a pandemic. So right now there's a lot of bookings outside Nigeria that are just piling up. I'm like, oh, we're going to some country when we're going to this, we're trying to get the visa, we're trying to so my abroad tour, abroad of Nigeria, is actually gonna properly begin this year. But I can tell you that one concert that did it so much for me was my Boo of the Booless album launch itself. I invited a few people, but the place was packed out, and that's when I was excited. Even the way people were singing the songs while I was singing it. So I knew that, these songs are catchy, they're easily memorable, and people can easily connect to it. And so that's been here. But definitely, I'm going to go on an East African tour very soon. My books already look like that from the updates I'm getting. And I can't wait to have the stop in Rwanda.
Yeah, we are looking to have you here, by the way. Honestly, we're looking to have you here. But still, talking about Rwanda, what do you know about Rwanda? You as Chike, what do you know about Rwanda?
About Rwanda is that they got beautiful women. Oh my God.
That one is true, trust me.
They got beautiful women.
That one's true. Anyways, let's with so many artists that you have met, you have connected with, and so many other people like still have the music industry. Who do you look up to in the music industry? Like, what is that one artist you're like, yo, this one, like this artist, like I want to be with like them when I maybe 10 years, 15 years to come?
10 years, 15 years to come. I'll mention some names. I don't know if you're very familiar with them. I love Passenger Music. I think he's British.
Okay.
Or American also, yeah. I think he's mixed of some sort. I love Passenger Music. I love what's his name again? I forget. Well, I love Passenger Music because of the music writing skill. Okay. Yes, and how people connect to his music and how wide range the music goes. I was a huge fan of P Square also growing up. You know, seeing the way they can communicate with fans, how they're able to sell out stadiums, and there are a couple of people, but looking up to people now, the whole world is changing. The people that were stars when we were growing up, they did it in a very different scenario. And now you can literally become a star of social media, and that's just strange.
Yeah.
So you see, the methods of climbing is different. Now, if you talk to those people I look up to, they'll tell you, oh, you need to go to DJs, you need to make sure you're physically at this place. But right now, you don't really have to. So it's a different model to, in quotes, success in what we do. So, but I mean, these are people I respect their art. I love Diamond. I see what he's doing in his country. Yeah. I see the huge hold he has over the entire region. And I love Southeast Soul. So it's a couple of people that I really look up to because of what they were able to achieve in their region and how they were able to hold down that region. But what I can say is I'm on my own journey and I'm learning as I go, to be honest.
Okay, all right. So I talked about Diamond, talked about Sauti Soul, which means you have so much knowledge on the East African music. Let me say that. So closing on with the interview, what can you tell your fans in Rwanda? And of course, like when can they see you, if it is even in your plans?
Rwanda, Kigali. Did I pronounce that well?
Yeah, you did.
So now I apologize to any other state or any other province that I did not pronounce, but that's the most popular one we know. Just like most people know Lagos, Nigeria. So
yeah, we just know Lagos, Nigeria.
Yeah, see you in Rwanda soon. I know I'm gonna get there soon. Tell your show promoters to book us. They should bring us. We don't disappoint. We deliver. And thank you so much for listening to my music. Thank you so much for encouraging your media, for encouraging your OAPs, your presenters, to put out my music. And a big thank you to everybody who's listening now, both the media people. Thank you so much for supporting, this guy from Nigeria who's never been to Rwanda. And I cannot wait to come to Rwanda. Because one, I know that, I'll have an amazing music experience. And I know that I'll live with a couple of girlfriends,
I know. Like, that was for sure. I'll help you on that, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Chike, thank you so much for being with us and with your time.
Thank you so much.
Like, we caught you on the driveway, you had to park and everything else, but still, thank you so much for taking your time and being with us.
Thank you. God bless you.
So yeah, that was Chike all the way from Nigeria. He's a Nigerian artist. Let's watch his song called If You No Love Me with my Yokon. I'll be right back. You're still watching KC2 and my name is Klepy. The show is called Beats and Sounds.